Smile, darling, Daniel murmured through his teeth, arm locked around my waist as the photographer clicked away. I forced my lips up. I am smiling, not like you want to kill me. His grin didn't reach his eyes. Oh, but that's my best look, I whispered. He laughed for the crowd. Champagne glasses clinked around us. The room smelled like lilies and expensive wine. 10 years married, and tonight I was just another accessory on his arm. Maya slid up beside me. You look like you're posing for a mug shot. Fine. I lied. Go enjoy the food. Her gaze narrowed. Fine doesn't twitch like that. Before I could answer, Clara's voice cut in. There you are. I've been looking everywhere. She wore a deep red dress, hair falling perfectly over her shoulder. Her eyes flicked to Daniel and lingered. Daniel smiled at her too warmly. You've been hiding from us all night. Mingling, she said lightly. I tilted my glass. Oh, I'm sure you've been. Mingling. Maya's brows rose. Clara just laughed. You should relax. It's your big night. Big night, right? I took a sip, letting the champagne burn. Down my throat. Edward, Daniel's business partner, appeared at my elbow. Congratulations, you too. 10 years. It's impressive in our line of work. Work being law or marriage? I asked both, he said with a smirk, though one usually ruins the other. Daniel chuckled. Not for us. My fingers tightened around the glass. Yes, we're the picture of stability. Grace drifted over, silver dress catching the light. I remember when you two started dating. Daniel couldn't stop talking about you. I turned to her. Back when we were broke college kids and thought love could fix everything. Exactly, Grace said, smiling. You two were inseparable. Daniel nodded. We still are. Clara touched his arm. A toast then. Maya's eyes snapped to mine. I just raised my glass. To 10 years, we drank. The champagne was sweet, but my stomach twisted. Grace leaned closer. You okay? I'm perfect, I said. And for a second, I almost believed it. The music swelled, soft jazz filling the hall. Couples moved toward the dance floor. Daniel reached for my hand. Dance with me, he asked. Maybe later. My feet hurt. Claudius. Smile sharpened. I'll keep him company then. Be my guest, I said. Maya grabbed my arm the moment they stepped away. Are you serious right now? What? You just handed him to her? He was already hers. Maya blinked. What does that mean? I glanced at the dance floor where Daniel's hand rested a little too low on Clara's back. Means I'm not blind. Her voice dropped. You think I don't think? I know. Maya swore under her breath. Since when? Months, I said. Maybe longer. Why haven't you? Because tonight? I whispered. I'm deciding how this ends. Edward reappeared with another drink. Everything all right? Perfect, I said. He looked between me and the dance floor. Interesting definition. Grace joined us. You're going to make a scene? Wait until I've had dessert. Oh. Laughed, surprising myself. Noted. Daniel returned, slightly flushed. You disappearing on me? Just talking, I said. That okay with you? Course, he replied, but his jaw was tight. Clara touched his shoulder. We should take a photo together before the night's over. I smiled sweetly. Oh, don't worry. You'll get plenty of pictures. Amaya coughed to hide her laugh. The band started another slow song. Luke, Daniel's younger brother, stood by the bar, watching the scene unfold. His eyes met mine, questioning, concerned. I excused myself and walked. Over. You look like you're hiding. Just avoiding family drama, Luke said. You think there's drama? He gave me a look. I know there is. I tilted my head. How much do you know? Enough to know you deserve better? He said softly. I swallowed hard. That's kind of you. It's true. We stood in silence for a beat. The music weaving between us, Luke. I said, what would you do if someone betrayed you? He didn't hesitate. I'd make sure they never forgot it. My lips curved. Good answer. Maya waved at me from across the room, mouthing, Are you okay? I nodded. Even though my pulse was a drumbeat in my ears, Daniel's laughter carried. From a nearby group, Clarice to Luke followed my gaze. "They're not worth your pain." "They'll be worth my plan," I said under my breath. He frowned. "What plan?" "You'll see." The rest of the night blurred into clinking glasses, polite smiles, and the scent of roses I suddenly couldn't stand. Every laugh felt sharp, every touch fake. But I played my part as the final toast came. Daniel pulled me close. "You've been quiet tonight, thinking about the future," I said. He smiled, thinking it was sweet. "To another 10 years. I lifted my glass. 2 endings and new beginnings. Our eyes met, and for the first time I thought he saw something in me he couldn't quite name, and it scared him. Good. Because tonight was just the start. The laughter and music felt too loud. I slipped out through the side door, the cool air brushing my skin. The garden lights glowed faintly, and that's when I heard it. "She suspects nothing," Daniel's voice said. My breath froze. Clara's voice was hushed. "Are you sure? She's been looking at me strangely all night." "After tonight," he murmured, "it will be easier. Just let me handle it." My hand gripped the wall. Clara exhaled. "I hate lying to her. She's been my friend for years." Daniel's tone hardened. "This is what we planned. Don't back out now." My pulse hammered. "Planned. What if she finds out everything?" Claire whispered. "She won't," Daniel said. "Trust me." I took a step back, heel crunching on gravel. The whisper stopped. "Did you hear that?" Clara's voice sharpened. "Probably nothing," Daniel said quickly. "Come on, let's get back before someone notices." I darted behind the hedge, holding my breath until their footsteps faded toward the hall. When I stepped back inside, the warmth of the room felt suffocating. Maya was at the drinks table, pouring wine. "You look like you saw a ghost," C said. "I just needed some air," I replied. My voice was too flat. She handed me a glass. "Air doesn't turn you this pale. What happened?" "Nothing, really." Her eyes narrowed. "You're lying." I forced a smile. "It's our anniversary party. Can we not do this right now?" She muttered something under her breath, but let it go. Across the room, Daniel was laughing with Edward, Clara at his side. Her hand rested lightly on his arm. Maya followed my gaze. "You want me to throw my drink at her?" "'Cause I will." I almost laughed. "Not yet." "What does that mean?" she asked. "It means I'm not the fool they think I am." Her voice dropped. "So you did hear something?" I sipped the wine. Let's just say I confirmed a few suspicions. Maya clenched her jaw. "And you're still standing here?" "Patience," I said. "I want them comfortable. I want them thinking I'm clueless." She stared at me. "You're scaring me a little." "Good," I said softly. Daniel caught my eye from across the room, lifting his glass in a mock toast. I raised mine back, smiling as if nothing had shattered. Grace appeared beside me. "You're smiling like you just swallowed something bitter." "Maybe I have," I said. Her brows lifted. "Want to tell me what?" "Later. Right now, I'm playing a part." Grace's smile turned, knowing, "Oh, I like where this is going." "Don't like it too much," I murmured. "It's going to get ugly." Edward joined us, holding a plate of canapes. "Everything all right here?" "Perfect," I said. He studied me for a moment. "You're a better liar than your husband." I tilted my head. "What makes you say that?" "His eyes give him away," Edward said. "Yours don't, not tonight." I let that sit, then asked, "How much do you trust him?" "Depends on the day," Edward replied. "Why?" "No reason," I lied. Daniel's voice called from the stage. "Everyone, a quick announcement." People gathered as he launched into a speech about love, commitment, and building a future together. Every word felt like a knife. Clara stood at the edge of the crowd, smiling at him like she already owned him. Maya leaned in. "I swear, if you let him keep this act up, I won't," I said, Then when I met her eyes, when it hurts the most, she exhaled slowly. You've thought about this for months. Daniel's gaze found mine mid-sentence. I held it, smiling faintly until he looked away. The applause ended. The music started again, and people drifted back to their conversations. Maya touched my arm. If you need me, I'll call, I said. But tonight, just watch. Clara. Passed by, her perfume hitting me like a warning. Lovely speech, wasn't it? She said beautiful, I replied. You must be proud, she blinked. Proud of Daniel? I said. You seem close. A flicker of something crossed her face before she laughed. We're friends. Of course, I said, smiling like I believed it. She hesitated, then walked away. Maya's eyes were wide. You're terrifying. Not yet, I said, swirling the wine in my glass. But I will be. The band shifted into something slow, soft enough that I could hear the murmur of conversations blending with the clink of glasses. Couples drifted to the dance floor, swaying under the warm lights. I spotted Luke leaning at the bar, one hand in his pocket, watching everything like he was reading a book no one else could see. I crossed the room. You look like you're hiding. Maybe I am, he said. You okay? Not even close. His eyes searched mine. What happened? You already know? Luke glanced toward the dance floor. Daniel was laughing at something Clara said, his hand resting just a little too low on her back. Luke's jaw tightened. I told him once, don't. I cut in. I don't want a warning. I want an ending. His brow furrowed. What does that mean? It means I'm done pretending. Before he could speak again, I turned toward the crowd. Daniel's eyes found mine across the room. His smile, lazy, certain. Clara looked smug like she'd already won. I stepped closer to Luke. You trust me? He blinked. Do I what? Just answer. He nodded slowly. Yeah, good. I reached up, wrapped my hands around his face, and kissed him. It wasn't quick. Wasn't shy. I let it linger, deliberate, knowing exactly who was watching. Gasps rippled through the room. Someone dropped a glass. The music faltered for a second before picking up again. Awkward and strained, Luke froze for half a heartbeat before his hands came up, lightly resting on my waist. He didn't pull away. When I finally stepped back, my breath was unsteady. My heart was hammering, but it wasn't from fear. It was freedom. Daniel's face was a mask of disbelief, his knuckles white around. His glass. Clara's lips parted, her expression flickering between shock and rage. Luke's voice was low. What was that? Control, I said. Maya appeared at my side instantly. What in God's name? Later I told her. No, now. She started, but the sound of Daniel's shoes striking the floor cut her off. He stopped in front of me. What the hell was that? I tilted my head. A kiss. Do you think this is funny? His voice was cold, dangerous. I think it's fair. His eyes narrowed. Fair? Don't pretend you don't understand. Clara stepped in. You're making a scene. I smiled at her. Oh, sweetie, we're way past that. Luke shifted beside me, like he was ready to intervene, but I lifted a hand to stop him. Daniel's voice was tight. We'll talk about this privately. I'm good right here, I said. Whispers swirled around us. Grace stood in the corner, watching with open curiosity. Edward had his phone halfway out, like he might be recording. Daniel took a step closer. You're humiliating yourself. I laughed once. Ah? Because it looks like you're the one who can't breathe. His jaw clenched so hard I thought it might crack. Clara grabbed his arm. Come on, this isn't worth it. I leaned. And slightly, oh, it's worth every second. Maya's hand brushed mine. We should leave. I shook my head. Not yet. Daniel's voice dropped to a hiss. You think this changes anything? Already has. I said. Luke finally spoke. Maybe you should walk away, Daniel. Daniel turned on him. And you, me? Luke said evenly. I didn't start this war. Felt the tension in the air like static. Every eye was on us. I stepped back just enough to see the whole room again. Enjoy the rest of your night, everyone. That was the cue. Conversations resumed in awkward bursts. The music tried to smooth over the crack in the evening. But the damage was done. Daniel stared at me one last time before pulling Clara away toward the far side of the hall. Maya blew out a breath. That was either brilliant or insane. Maybe both. I said, Luke touched my elbow. You sure you're ready for what comes next? I met his gaze. I've been ready for months. We stood there a moment, the chaos fading into background. Noise. I could feel Daniel's glare from across the room, but I didn't look. Grace wandered over. Well, she said lightly, you've officially made this the most interesting anniversary party I've ever attended. Glad to provide. Entertainment, I said. Edward joined us, smirking. I'd say the night's over. For them, I replied. Luke gave a small shake of his head, almost amused. You really don't do things halfway, do you? Not anymore, I said. As the crowd began to thin, people avoiding my eyes or giving me curious glances, I felt lighter. Maya looped her arm through mine. Let's go home before you decide to set the place on fire. I smiled, tempting. We left the hall together, the chill night air a relief after the heavy perfumed heat inside. Luke's voice came. From behind us? If you need backup, I'll call, I said without looking back. But I didn't need backup. I had something better. I had my next move. Daniel was already in the kitchen when I walked in, leaning against the counter with a mug of coffee like he owned the morning. His voice was ice. Do you have any idea what you did last night? I opened the fridge. Oh, I have an idea. You humiliated me in front of my friends. My colleagues, I turned, leaning against the door. How does it feel? His brow furrowed. What? To be betrayed, I said. And not in private, Daniel. It's in front of everyone. His jaw worked. Don't twist this. Haven't done anything. I laughed once, sharp. You haven't. Then what was Clara doing with her hand on your back all night? What were you whispering about in the garden? He froze for half a second. You were listening. I heard enough. His tone sharpened. You're paranoid. And you're a terrible liar. He slammed the mug down. This is ridiculous. Clara and I don't, I said. Don't insult me by pretending. His gaze flickered just for a moment. Guilt. Then he straightened. You've always had a jealous streak. I crossed my arms. Funny. My jealous streak didn't start until you gave it a reason. We stared at each other, the silence heavy. A knock broke it. Maya's voice called, Open up. It's freezing out here. I walked past him to the door. Kaya stepped in, cheeks pink from the cold, holding 2 paper cups. Kaya brought back up coffee. You look like you need it. I do, I said. Taking 1. Daniel muttered. Of course you're here. Maya shot him a look. Morning to you too. I gestured for her to sit. What's up? She hesitated, eyes flicking to Daniel. I wasn't sure if I should say this in front of him. Say it, I told her. Daniel's shoulders stiffened. You know what? I'm late for a call. He brushed past us, grabbing his keys. We're not done with this conversation. Can't wait, I said. And the door shut behind him. Maya leaned in, lowering her voice. I saw Clara. I raised a brow last night. No, weeks ago. Leaving Daniel's office at 10:30 at night, lipstick smudged. Look at Welty. My grip tightened on the cup. And you're telling me this now? I didn't have proof, she said. And I knew it would wreck you. I took a slow breath. Newsflash, Maya. I'm already wrecked. She winced. I'm sorry, don't be. You confirmed what I already knew. Her eyes searched mine. So what now? Divorce? Not yet. Not yet. I shook my head. Leaving would be too easy for him. He'd spin it, make himself the victim. I want him to unravel first. Maya leaned back. You sound scary. I'm past scary. I'm patient. She took a sip of her coffee. Do you know people are still talking about that kiss? Good. I said, let them. You're really going to stay here with him? For now, I want a front row seat to his downfall. Maya's voice softened. I just don't want you getting hurt more than you already are. I met her eyes. The worst already happened. Now I decide what happens to him. We sat in silence for a moment, the hum of the refrigerator filling the space. Maya broke it. You think Luke knew you were going to do that? No, but he didn't pull away. Her mouth curved slightly. He's always had your back. I know, I said, but this isn't about him. Not now. Maya studied me. I've never seen you like this. That's because you've never seen me when I've stopped pretending. She nodded slowly. So, what's step one? I smiled faintly. Watch. Wait. Push when the cracks start to show. And in the meantime, I'll be the perfect wife. Maya raised a brow. That's twisted. It's strategy. She sighed. Should have brought something stronger than coffee. Next. Time, bring whiskey, I said. We both laughed, but it was short-lived. Maya stood, pulling her coat on. Call me if you need me. I will. She paused at the door. Be careful. I'm always careful, I lied. When the door closed, I stood in the kitchen alone, staring at the empty coffee cup in my hand. My heart should have been breaking. Instead, it felt steady. Daniel thought last night was the worst I could do. He had no idea what was coming. Edward caught me in the lobby of Daniel's firm when I dropped off lunch. Rough week? He asked. I smiled politely. Why do you say that? He lowered his voice. There's tension upstairs. That deal Daniel pushed? It's bleeding money. Oh. I tilted my head. He hasn't mentioned that? Not surprised. It's been snapping at everyone. I gave a sympathetic nod. Stress changes people. Edward smirked. It also exposes them, doesn't it? I said softly, back home. I found Grace waiting on my porch. We need to talk. I let her in. This sounds urgent. She didn't sit. I was at the club last night. Clara was there. I sipped my tea. Let me guess, she wasn't alone. She was bragging, Grace said, about how she'll be replacing you soon. Her words. My fingers tightened around the cup. Did she say when? Soon? That was all. Grace studied my face. You're awfully calm because she's underestimating me. Grace raised a brow. Should I be worried for her? Only if you like her. Grace smiled faintly. Then I'm not worried at all. At dinner that night, I kept my voice light. How's work? Daniel didn't look up from his phone. Busy. Edward says things are tense. His eyes snapped to mine. Edward needs to mind his own. Business, I cut my steak. Sounds like he's concerned. Concerned. He's looking for weaknesses, Daniel muttered. I swallowed a bite. Then maybe don't give him any, he glared. You're enjoying this, aren't you? Just making conversation. Over the next few days, I became the perfect wife in public. At the firm's charity dinner, I smiled, laughed at all the right moments, and whispered just enough to plant seeds. You must be so proud of Daniel, I told a partner's wife. She smiled uncertainly. Of course, though, I hear there's trouble with that merger. Oh, I'm sure it's nothing, I said sweetly. Daniel always finds a way, though sometimes he trusts people he shouldn't. The words spread faster than the wine. Dessert. I saw Daniel looking around like the walls were closing in. Luke texted me the next morning, if you need a way out, I'm here. I stared at the message, my fingers hovering. I didn't reply. Not yet. That afternoon, Daniel came home early. Did you say something to Margaret Collins last night? I closed my book. We talked. Why she cornered me about the merger. Asked if I'd been misled by people I trusted. I kept my face neutral. Strange question. You don't play dumb well, he snapped. I stood brushing past him. You're just looking for someone to blame. He followed me into the kitchen. If you're trying to undermine me, trying. I looked at him over my shoulder. You think I'd have to try? He flinched, barely, before covering it with anger. You've changed. I set down the glass I was holding. No, Daniel, I've stopped protecting you. His phone rang before he could reply. He glanced at the screen, muttered a curse, and walked out to take the call. Grace dropped by later. "He's unraveling," she said. "It's impressive." "Not done," I replied. She studied me. "You don't want to just leave? Leaving would be mercy," I said. Her smile was slow. Remind me never to cross you." That night, I overheard Daniel pacing in his office, voice low and sharp. "No, we can't stall. The board's already nervous, then fix it." When he came out, I was leaning in the doorway. "Bad day." His glare was tired. "Don't start." I stepped aside. "Sleep well." I knew he wouldn't. The knock came mid-morning. I wasn't expecting anyone. When I opened the door, Clara stood there, clutching her purse like it was a lifeline. "Hi," she said, too brightly. "Can we talk?" I stepped aside. "Sure, come in." She walked in slowly, eyes darting around, like she was searching for traps. I wanted to check on you." After everything, I gestured to the couch. "How thoughtful." She sat, smoothing her skirt. "You seemed upset at the party." I sat across from her. "Why would I be upset, Clara?" Her smile faltered. "I just mean I know things looked strange. Between me and Daniel." I tilted my head. "Strange? Is that what we're calling it?" She swallowed. "I don't want you to think there's more than there is." I let a small silence stretch. "You mean more than him promising you a future?" Her eyes widened. "How did you?" She stopped herself, biting her lip. I smiled sweetly. "You just told me." Clara's hands twisted in her lap. "I didn't mean to. It's fine," I interrupted. "Really?" Her head snapped up. "It's fine, of course," I said. "I understand." She blinked, clearly thrown. "You understand?" "Yes," I said gently. "You think he's going to leave me for you? You think you'll get the house, the ring, the life? Why wouldn't you believe that?" Her shoulders relaxed slightly. "Exactly. He said, oh, I know what he said." I cut in. "But, Clara, you do realize he's hiding money from you, right?" Her forehead creased. "What?" I leaned back. "Daniel's smart. He's not going to risk everything on someone he can't fully trust yet. He has accounts you don't know about." "That's not true," she said quickly. But the tremor in her voice gave her away, isn't it? I asked softly. "Why do you think he hasn't left me already? He's securing himself first. You're a placeholder." She shook her head. "No, he told me we'd be together soon." "And how many months ago was that?" I asked. Clara's mouth opened, then closed. I leaned forward, lowering my voice. "I'm not saying he doesn't care for you. I'm saying he cares for himself more. Something goes wrong, you'll be the first one he cuts loose." Her hands tightened into fists. "You're lying." "Hey, B," I said with a shrug. "Or maybe I've just known him longer than you have." Her gaze dropped to the floor. "He wouldn't." "He would," I said firmly. "And he will." She looked up sharply. "Why are you telling me this?" "'Cause I don't want you to get blindsided," I said. "You've already risked your friendship with me for him. I'd hate for you to lose everything else too." Clara stared at me for a long moment. "You're being nice." I smiled again. "Let's call it honest." She exhaled shakily. "If what you're saying is true, you'll know soon enough," I said. "Just pay attention to where he spends his time. And his money." She stood, clutching her purse again. "I need to go." "Of course," I said. "And Clara." She paused. "Yes. Be careful who you trust." Her eyes searched mine, like she was trying to read the truth in them. Then she left without another word. I closed the door slowly, feeling a smile curl at the edges of my mouth. One seed planted. Now I just had to let it grow. The news broke on a Tuesday morning. Maya called first. "Turn on the TV." Flicked it on to see Daniel's face splashed beside headlines about failed mergers and client lawsuits. 2 weeks, I said quietly. "Told you the cracks were." "Showing," she replied. "Thanks for the update," I said, and hung up by noon. I was at his office. The tension was thick in the lobby. Assistants whispered in corners. I walked past them and found his door cracked open, exactly how I'd left it. Clara's voice was sharp. You told me it was fine, that we'd be fine. Daniel's reply was tight. Lower your voice. Don't you dare tell me to calm down. She snapped. You promised me everything, Daniel. A future, the firm, money. Where is it? I said I'd take care of you. You've ruined yourself. Clara's voice cracked. And now I'm ruined too. Daniel's tone turned. Cold. You were never part of the plan long term. There was a pause. What? I needed you for leverage. That's all. I leaned against the wall, smiling to myself. Clara's voice dropped to a hiss. You're a bastard. Cue. And you're naive. Daniel shot back. Something slammed her purse. Maybe, and heels clicked furiously toward the door. She stopped. Short when she saw me in the hall, enjoying yourself. She spat. Very much, I said sweetly. She glared before storming past me. Inside, Daniel was pacing, phone in hand. What are you doing here? I just happened to be in the neighborhood, I said. This isn't the time for games. His phone rang. He glanced at the screen and swore. I have to take this. Course, I said, turning away by the time I reached the elevator. My phone buzzed. Daniel, I declined the call. He tried again. Declined that night. That night, the knocking on my door was firm but not angry. When I opened it, Luke stood there, hands in his jacket pockets. Evening, he said. Evening, what brings you here? I figured you'd heard about Daniel. I might have. He stepped inside. It's bad. It's worse than the news is. Saying, Edward's pushing him out completely. Board votes next week. I smiled faintly. Edward always was efficient. Luke sat on the couch. Daniel's been drinking? A lot. He's losing friends faster than he's losing money. I leaned against the doorway. Then I suppose he's almost alone. Almost, Luke said. I raised a brow. You feel sorry for him? I don't. No, maybe a little. He's still my brother. Stopped being my husband a long time ago, I said. Luke looked at me carefully. And you? What happens when he hits the bottom? I'm already done, I said simply. I just wanted to watch the descent. That's cold, he said. It's honest. Luke rubbed the back of his neck. You ever think about just letting go? Kavatai, I admitted. But letting go before the story's finished isn't my style. We sat in silence for a moment. The ticking clock seemed louder than usual. Luke broke it. You know, people keep asking me if we're not. I cut in. I know, he said. But if you ever wanted, this isn't about wanting. I said, it's about surviving. He nodded slowly. Fair enough. I walked to the window, looking out at the city lights. When I married Daniel, I thought I knew what forever looked like. Turns out, forever is a lot shorter than you think. Luke's voice was quiet. So what now? Now, turn back to him. I wait for the final blow. And then I walk away. For good. Luke stood, zipping his jacket. If you need anything, I know where to find. You, I said that he hesitated at the door. You're sure you're okay? Never been more sure. I said, when he left, the apartment felt strangely still. No chaos, no raised voices. Just the hum of the city outside and the knowledge that Daniel's empire and his illusions were finally collapsing. The man I married wasn't coming back. Ken, I didn't want him to. The apartment was bright, even in winter. Sunlight spilled across the hardwood floors, warming the air. I leaned on the balcony, coffee in hand. Watching the city stretch out below me, the house was gone, sold. I'd taken my share without. Argument, Daniel didn't have the energy to fight. Any more? Maya called one afternoon. So, do you miss it? The house, I asked. Yeah, no, I said. I don't miss the echoes. She laughed softly. That's poetic. You okay? I'm better than okay. That's what I like to hear. Oh, and rumor says Daniel's spending most nights at some downtown bar. I took a slow sip. Let him, not curious. She asked, not even a little. A chime sounded on my laptop. I opened my email. Daniel's name sat in the inbox like an old ghost. "What is it?" Maya asked, hearing my pause. "He emailed me." I said, "What does it say?" I clicked it open. 2 words. "I'm sorry," Maya exhaled. "Well, that's something." I stared at the screen for a long moment. "It's nothing. You're not going to reply?" "No," I said. Some endings are better silent. Weeks later, I met Luke for coffee at a small cafe tucked between 2 bookstores. He was already there, hands wrapped around a mug. "Hey," he said. "Hey," I replied, sitting down. "You look different," he said, studying me. "Good different." He smiled faintly. "Yeah, lighter." I shrugged. It's amazing what happens when you stop carrying someone else's mess. We talked about safe things, work, books, the weather. No mention of Daniel until Luke finally asked, "Do you ever think about us?" I shook my head slightly. "Not now." "Maybe not ever. Right now, I'm just figuring out me." He nodded. "Fair enough." Outside, the sky was pale blue, the kind that promised spring. A month later, Grace invited me to a rooftop party. "You need to be seen again," she said. "I am seen," I told her. "Not like this," she replied. "Come on, wear something that makes you feel dangerous." That night, I slipped into a black dress and let the city's hum wrap around me as I stepped out of the elevator onto the rooftop. The air smelled like champagne and rain. Grace spotted me instantly. "There she is," she said, kissing my cheek. "Big crowd," I noted. "Half of them don't matter," she said. "The other half need to see that you're fine." Maya appeared, drink in hand. "You look like trouble," she said. "Good," I replied. We wandered through the crowd. People glanced at me, some curious, some pitying, some impressed. I smiled at all of them. At the bar, a man leaned toward me. "Haven't seen you around before?" "I've been busy," I said lightly. "Busy doing what?" "Winning," I said, and walked away. Maya caught up with me, grinning. "You're enjoying this." "A little," I admitted. Grace handed me a glass of champagne. "2 new beginnings," she said. We clinked glasses. "2 endings," I replied. Later, standing by the railing, I looked out over the city lights. Luke's words came back to me. "You look lighter." He was right. Maya joined me. "So this is different from your last party, huh?" I smiled. "Very." "You're actually happy," she said. "I am." She glanced sideways. "You ever think about Daniel?" "Not in the way you mean," I said. "I think about the lesson." "And what's that?" "That I didn't need to destroy him to win," I said quietly. "I just had to walk away." Maya nodded slowly. "That's powerful. It's freedom," I said. Grace called from across the terrace. "Come, take a picture with me." Let Maya pull me toward the camera. As the flash went off, I realized my smile didn't feel heavy anymore. It wasn't a mask, it was mine.